All right, so Blank says, hi, Jonathan. What is the symbolism of smoke, specifically smoking tobacco? I've always wondered if there's something of smoking which has to do with burning incense. Like I really wondered if that's not part of its appeal. If there's something really kind of primordial about watching smoke rise up from your own mouth, that it's a kind of something that is so intuitively right that it will that people are attracted to it. I've always wondered about that. But that's usually in terms of smoke, like in terms of burning incense, for example, it really does have to do with this rising up of these rising up of intention up to the heaven, let's say. So it's like an offering up. It goes up to the sky, and it's like a subtle offering, because you can imagine that you have something physical, and then as you consume it, it becomes subtle, and then it rises up, right? And so you can understand that as stupid as, right? It's like I eat a sandwich, and because I eat the sandwich, then I can concentrate during the day, right? And so you take a physical thing, you consume it somehow, you burn it, you eat it, you consume it, and then it becomes more subtle and participates in intelligence, you could say. And so I think that that's what, for humans, that I think that's what smoke has often meant, in terms of, especially the kind of smoke that goes up, the kind of offering of incense and all that. All right, so Jeff Young. So Jeff, you have a really long question. I'm going to skip to the question part. So you basically talk about the idea of food, like what is food, and then you ask me what is eating. So have you written or spoken about this before, or know of any other resources you could point me to? So yes, I did write I did make a video. I think it's called Food, Sex, and Communion. And I go directly into the symbolism of food. So it's quite simple. Like food is in terms of being, food is potentiality. And so you gather it, you break down the identities of the food into potentiality, and then you bring them to you and you make them participate in your being. And so they become potential for you. And so in one of the videos too, with my brother on symbolism, I forget which one I did too, he talks about how, like, we are food for cities, let's say. So human beings are the food of cities, and the city gives intelligence down back to the people who are being eaten by the city. And so it's like that. It's like you take matter, you put it into you, and then you impose intelligence on it. You impose pattern on it. And so that is really the best way to kind of understand eating in the basic sense. But then there's also another type of eating, which is actually the idea of the food from heaven. And the food from heaven is different. You see that in scripture. Food from heaven is more like seed, and so it's actually getting pattern. And that seems to be more what communion does. Communion actually does both at the same time. Sorry, communion always does everything. But let's say in scripture, the idea of like manna, for example, this like food that comes down from heaven and condenses and is like a kind of a getting of seed or a getting of pattern. And so that's a little different from the basic symbolism of eating.